God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I have is you. Everything about, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every starshine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I have is you. Everything about, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I have is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Good morning. It's time for you to join us, so please stand and help us sing I'm Choosing Heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the
Good morning, beautiful center. I'm Reverend Carla Sherrod, your staff minister, and welcome home. We're celebrating 55 years as a spiritual community. Yeah! 55 years. This month also is bridging us into a month of Thanksgiving, which we typically think about in November. Thanksgiving and gratitude, and 55 years is quite an accomplishment. I can't think of anything greater to celebrate than that. So just so glad to see each and every one of you. If you're here for the very first time, we want you to know that we are a trans-denominational center, meaning that no matter where you are on your spiritual path, you are absolutely welcome here today. And in the great words of Errol Fitzgerald, she says, "It's not where you come from, it's where you're going that counts." We're going to get started this morning with our opening ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings coming from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universal realistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as our practitioner, Faith Mackey, lights the last candle, let it represent the path which brought you here this morning. And to gently anchor our service, we will be taking 2 minutes in silence.
consciousness. So just take a deep breath and just feel your physical form in the chair that you're sitting in. And just know that right here, right now, God is everywhere. God is everywhere, in, through, and back of everything. So this presence lives and resides within each and every one of us. So just allow yourself to feel that connection with Spirit. Allow yourself to feel that oneness, to feel the presence of Spirit that lives inside of you. And so what I know is that this presence is here, operating through us, as us. I am, God is, in our minds, in our physical, in our ideas. So I know that this is the truth of who I am. It's the truth of each and every one of us. And so I know that we are connected with Spirit. And I know that Spirit, God, whatever you want to call this beautiful, powerful energy, is pure love of the purest form, is joy and peace and harmony, is abundance. This energy is beauty and intelligence and wisdom. And so I know because we are connected with this, that means that we are all these God qualities, that they're present in each and every one of us. And so I know that today, starting right here, right now, that we allow Spirit's presence to be more aware of it, to be more inviting of it, to be more just letting it do what it does through us, as us, just playing, having fun, living life, expressing the beauty and the joy and everything that is good. And so I know that we do that, and we are awake and aware and conscious of Spirit. And so, with a grateful heart, I allow this to take place in the law. And so I anchor it with each and every one of you by saying, and so it is. So now we're going to read the global vision. Before we do that, okay, this says we're going to do the invocation, which I just did, but that doesn't matter. We're going to read the global vision, but before I do that, I want everyone to know that there's a copy in the foyer. When you first walk in to the church, when you first walk in, there's a copy of the entire thing, if you want that. Okay, so let's read it together. We see a world that works for all, where people live according to spiritual truth, where unity and connection are emphasized, where people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. So today's affirmation, please read it with me. I look and find the sacred in everything, and I'd like to add in everyone. And so it is.
Thank you, Faith. And now we'd like to invite our beautiful guest soloist up, Alan Dell.
Well, I woke up this morning and saw a world full of trouble and thought, how did it ever get so far down, and how are we going to turn it around? And I shook my fist at heaven and said, God, why don't you do something? And God said, I did. I created you. So this is a song about that. It's called Nothing More. To be humble, to be kind, it is the giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. To be bold, to be brave, it is the gifting that the heart can still be saved. And the darkness can come quick. The danger's in the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love. We are word. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. So tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibilities. And heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other.
Thank you, Alan Dale. That was wonderful. Let's give him another hand. Always a treat to have our homegrown talent here on stage. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Reverend Alice Reid. I'm the spiritual director here, and I'm so happy that you can be with us for our Homecoming Sunday. We have so much to celebrate right now. And if you've been, I left my thing down there, but it's okay. If you've been following along in the weekly calendar that CSL has, thank you, I was just going to use it for demonstration. We have this wonderful weekly calendar that comes out from CSL every year. It goes along with the monthly themes that CSLs all over the country and the world actually are following. And the theme for this month, is the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. Oh my. And then we have a couple of things happening this month. So I think we have to zhuzh the theme a little bit. Because we have our wonderful homecoming where we've invited you to come and celebrate. We have some old friends who haven't been here for a while, who I'm so happy to see here in the audience. It's wonderful to have this time every year where we can celebrate ourselves as a community. The other thing that's happening this month, and I'm going to take a deep breath. The other thing that's happening this month is that our beloved Diane King Van is retiring. I know that many of you heard that news through the email that went out, but I also know we don't all read our emails, so this may be the first time you're hearing this. I encourage you to read the email because it gives you lots of information about Diane and her decision that she's made to, if I can quote her accurately, to live out loud herself. And so we're going to celebrate her on November 19th. And it'll be a wonderful day. And it won't be, well, you may feel profane to you. Which I imagine it does. It'll be a time for us to really celebrate the legacy that Diane leaves behind after 12 years of being our music director. So we're going to do it right. And as the other thing that we're looking at is our legacy members. And so I want to invite those of you who have been an active and engaged member for 25 years or more to please stand. Wow. Yeah. stay standing, stay standing. Look around the room. Look around the room. These are the shoulders that you are standing on. And so we want to rub our hands together like the teens used to do. And we want to say, and then put our hands out, and we want to say thank you. Thank you for the foundation that you have set. Thank you for the foundation that we're building on. Thank you for all that you have given, being a consistent and dedicated member of our community. You can be seated now. Our wonderful Karen Meyer, who's our resident artist, who's also running the media today. I want to thank her because she created this. You can't see it very well, but I'm going to encourage you to come up and see it after service. She created this beautiful art acknowledgement piece, and it reads, "Legacy is not what I did for myself. It's what I'm doing for the next generation." And it goes on to say, "Thank you for being part of our legacy that not only defines us, but also deepens our sense of belonging." And so there's a list of our members that have been members here for 25 years or more. And I have one little thing to say about the list, and that is that we've done an amazing job of keeping track of names and addresses, but not necessarily when you joined. So if for some reason you don't find yourself on here, please let us know, and we'll go ahead and add you to that acknowledgement. I'll personally thank you for being a legacy member. And if you are coming up to 25 years, let Reverend Karen or myself or Mary know so that we can add you to the list, so that we can keep track of you, because you really are such an important part of the foundation of who we are as a community. You continue to hold the love. I was talking to somebody before this service, and I can't remember exactly who, but we were talking about this constant stream of love that has moved through our community. There have been changes. People have come, people have gone, people have retired, people have passed on. But through all the ups and downs, there is this solid core of commitment to one another. And so today, that's what we're celebrating. So whether you're visiting again and you haven't been here for a while, and maybe you've been one of our legacy makers, that's another art piece I'll ask Karen to help me with. Or maybe you're one of our legacy members, or maybe this is your first time here. I want you to know that you belong, that there is a place for each one of us in this beautiful community we call Centers for Spiritual Living Capistrano Valley. And when I think about the 25 years, right? That's over 1,300 Sundays at minimum. Wow. That's quite a commitment. And what I know about this community is that we really are dedicated to each other, that there's something here that keeps us coming back, that there's that draw of that center of who we are and what we have to offer. And as we look at this idea of the sacred in everyday, which is what I renamed this week's talk from the mundane sigh. I thought living, being present with the sacred in the everyday really was a much more inviting proposition, don't you think? And as I think about that, I'm reminded of Brother Lawrence. Now, some of you have been here for a while probably have heard of Brother Lawrence, but if you haven't, he is a 17th century, he was a lay brother. He wasn't actually a monk, but he was one of those individuals who, in the Carmelite order, would work within the monastery to take care of the day-to-day. And he's really famous for writing this book called The Practice of the Presence of God. And his practice was that no matter what he was doing, he would have this continual conversation with the divine. He would invite the divine, whether he was preparing food or washing the dishes, whatever he was doing during the day, he found an opportunity to see the sacred in it. He approached spirituality where he emphasized this idea that there wasn't anything that he was doing that didn't have that fingerprint, if you will, although I don't see God as being anthropomorphic with fingers and a fingerprint, but he would see the mark of the divine in everything he did, and he would cultivate that. And he found a profound sense of peace and communion when he would cultivate that sense of the divine in everything he did. I was vacuuming yesterday. I did not have a sense of the divine. And when I'm trying to get, something really straightened out, whatever it is in my life, it's really easy to get sort of lost in the task and forget that there's something within the very fiber of whatever I have my hands on, that I too am within the very DNA and the cellular structure of my being, that there within all matter is this beautiful weaving of the divine. Ernest Holmes quotes Jesus in his book Ideas of Power, where he says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And he goes on to say that what Jesus meant was that we experience God, the presence of God, and we see God right here and right now in the everyday. And when I think about this idea of being blessed or the pure in heart, I think we purify our heart. And I don't mean that in a moralistic way, but that we purify our heart when we begin to allow our awareness to raise to a point where we can find the divine in whatever we're doing or whatever's in front of us. And it's tempting to get caught up in the spin and thinking that in order to be spiritual, we must be doing something specifically spiritual, right? We must be doing some big impact activity that's going to help us to have the experience of the divine. Or maybe it's just the spiritual practice that you do is the place where we can think we're only going to experience the divine. But it's everywhere. It's, the kids like to say, there's no place where God is not. And then my dear friend, Don Gilson, would like to say that it's either all God or it's not. Right? And so we have this experience, and whatever relationship you have to God, I like to think of God as the thing that makes the grass grow. And if I think about it that way, if I think about God as this thing that makes the grass grow, this energy that is underlying all life, well, how can it not be in my very breath and my heartbeat and your heartbeat, in our conversation, in our discussions, in our debates, in our disagreements? I'm remembering Jack Kornfield's famous book, After the Ecstasy, the Laundry. Anybody remember that one, right? Yeah, it's an oldie but goodie. But the title said everything. You're like, even when we have this experience of ecstatic bliss of oneness and unitedness with whatever, it's this thing that makes the grass grow, when we have that experience, we're still going to be doing the laundry. We're still going to be, gassing up our car. We're still going to be taking out the garbage, my least favorite chore at home. And so I want to say, what's your least favorite chore? Can you this week choose that when you're doing your least favorite chore to make a mental note and a conscious intention to see it as a divine act in some way? Right? And I imagine what the world would be like if we could all begin to see the divine in everything. I'm teaching a class on Wednesday mornings. We're almost done. It's been a divine experience, and it's called Exploring Roots, and we've looked at Emerson's writings and compared them to Holmes. We've looked at Judge Thomas Troward's writings, and now we're looking at Emma Curtis Hopkins. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Emma Curtis Hopkins, she is the considered the teacher of teachers. She taught Ernest Holmes, she taught Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, so she has imbued her consciousness on a lot of what you experience as being part of this community. And one of the cool things about Emma is that she encourages the spiritual student to look at the places where we have judgments and prejudices, bias that we might have, where we are sorting things as different and apart from us. She uses this term called othering. We might, and we can do that in really ways, in places where we might be experiencing conflict, and we can do it in the mundane, and just, writing somebody off or not paying attention to that homeless guy as you walk into the grocery store. And so Emma has this, she goes so far as to say that when we look at life and we don't see the divine in whatever we see, then what we are seeing is just an illusion. It's not real until we see the divine that is imbued upon it. That once we can open our eyes and begin to see that life force that is inherent in you and me and our families and our communities and the people that we hold in high admiration and the people we may not hold as in high admiration, that God is in all of that. There are no exceptions. Not one. Not one single exception to that idea. And so start with something easy like doing the dishes and work your way up. But the fact is, if we're walking through life and we're seeing things that we don't attribute to God, then there's something that else we need to see. There's some uncovering. There's some transparency. There's some peace that wants to be revealed to us. And those of you who've known me for the last 2 years, when I share something like this, where I'm talking about seeing God in everything, I'm not talking about doing a spiritual bypass and pretending you haven't been injured or harmed or are having difficulty with somebody. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm asking you to do that deep inner reflection to see where you may have misplaced the divine in the situation. Where is it that you need to see the divine? Is it simply that you need to recognize that the challenge that you're having before you is simply there to help rub off the rough edges so that you can be a clearer channel for peace? Maybe the things that disappoint you are there to help you appreciate the things and the blessings that are already happening in your life. So we don't pretend that the unlovely things in life aren't happening, but we do spend enough time, and this, for me, this is pure Emma, we spend enough time looking at the condition to see where we have a false belief so that we can get clear about our relationship with the divine and our relationship with life. And when the clarity comes, inevitably, the difficulty gets easier. The pathway is made clear. And we can move forward, supported by that thing that makes the grass grow, that wants to support you in everything that you do. Emma had a mantra that I'm using a lot right now. And it simply goes like this: this too is good, this too is God, and I demand to see the blessing in it. This too is good, this too is God, and I demand to see the blessing in it. And now, when we have those heartbreaks, those things that are really difficult, it's sometimes hard to see the blessing in it. But what she's encouraging us to do is to raise, and this is again Emma-type languaging, to raise our spiritual eyes so that we can get in touch with what is in this for us. What is it that, either is compelling us to move in a different direction, or maybe it's compelling us to stand in our truth. There's always some growth in it. I want you to think about the last time you had a growth spurt, some kind of spiritual growth that happened in your life, and see if you can remember some of the circumstances that might have been happening in your life at that time. There's probably a little bit of dust getting kicked up in your world in one way or another. Because oftentimes it is that movement of that helps to shift our thinking and shift our perception and raise our awareness to what it is that the divine wants us to experience and what it is we want to engage in. And so when you find yourself either in a place of conflict, or maybe it's a place of apathy where you're just not feeling like there's anything that is moving you from your heart space, or maybe you're not feeling engaged. The question to ask yourself is, and to be curious about it, is what is it that I'm missing? Where am I not seeing God? Where am I not seeing love? Where is there a greater opportunity for me to love? One of my favorite practices is something called the love prayer. And I'll say that the love prayer, when I learned it, it reminded me of Brother Lawrence finding the divine in something and settling myself. It reminded me of Emmett Fox's golden key. Are you familiar with Emmett Fox's golden key? It's when we are in any kind of a turmoil, we are to think of God. And so this love prayer is a practice of getting still and neutralizing our emotions so that we can be present with whatever's going on. It's both Brother Lawrence, Emmett Fox, this love prayer practice, all of it is really this meaningful, mindful practice, because I don't know about you, but when the ground beneath me begins to shift a little, I'm thinking about survival, I'm thinking about security, I'm thinking about trying to be safe. I'm not really thinking straight. So the love prayer is simply a practice of whatever is disturbing you, that you simply close your eyes and go within, answer your phone, turn it off, tell them you're about to pray, and bring the place of disturbance that is coming up for you, and repeat in your mind, I accept this, or I accept you, with the inhalation, and with each exhalation, I bless you, or I bless this. And it might be difficult. It might be really difficult to get that first sentence out. I accept you. But I guarantee you, this is not about acquiescing to harm or things that are challenging to you. It is about getting ourselves centered so then we can truly be a channel for peace and communion with the divine, and seeing the divine in the mundane and the unlovely as well as the bliss. Would you like to try the practice right now? Shall we? Yeah, so close your eyes and bring forward something that you're feeling a little challenged by. Oh, take a deep cleansing breath. And know what that thing, whether it's a circumstance or an individual, and have that name in front of you. And then with each inhalation, I want you to say, I accept this, or I accept you, and name it. And then with the exhalation, I bless you, or I bless this, and name it. And continue to do that with the natural cycle of your inhalation and exhalation. I accept you. I bless you. I accept you. I bless you. And when you're ready, complete the last cycle and come back into this space. Feel a little different? Yeah. Yeah, it centers us. It gets us in the now moment. Eckhart Tolle, famous for the power of now, the power of being present in this now moment. Because when we are all wrapped up in the past or we're all wrapped up in the future, we're not in this now moment. I had a dear friend on the East Coast. His name was Ruby. And Ruby used to say that the smallest package in the world was a person all wrapped up in themselves. And what he's really talking about is getting to that place of this now moment so that we can get some perspective, so that we can begin to look at what it is that's in front of us and allow the divine to open our spiritual eyes to what it is that we need to see or do, and or maybe it's just to be with. What I know about the divine is that when we become conscious and intentional, the way is made known, the path becomes clear, and we are led with grace, with ease, and with power. Thank you very much. So let's do a little spiritual practice, shall we? And you can close your eyes or lower your gaze or you can keep your eyes open and see the beauty around you. For what I know is it's all God. It's all grace. It's all love. And there is a power in it that when I recognize this basic truth of life, that I too experience the grace and the power and the love that I attribute to the divine. For there is no place that God ends and I begin. It is just a continuum of energy that is moving and reproducing itself over and over again. In my mind, in my thoughts, in my feelings, in my actions, in the things that I see. So we just breathe in and allow ourselves to trust and to have faith that we will be guided, that we will know what our part is to do or just to be as we allow the grace of God to move through us. And so I know as we move through this week, as we move through the rest of our afternoon, morning, and into lunchtime in this celebration of this center and all the lives that it has touched in the 55 years that it has been around, I know that this is our inheritance. And we will continue to build on that legacy as we move forward, being in spiritual community, being that center drop that ripples outward. And so I trust that each one will see Spirit in the plainest of things, as well as in the majesty of life. For it is ours to see, it is ours to notice, it is ours to be grateful for. And it is with an open heart and a grateful mind that I simply anchor this prayer in the power and the presence of the One as we say together. And so it is. Thank you very much. And now let's put our hands together for Alan Dale.
Oh, welcome home, everybody. Old friends, new friends, everybody here. So, this next song is one that Rick wrote, and it's about welcoming each of us back home to love, to God. And you know, when he played it for me, I thought of it as kind of a lullaby. And he said, well, kind of. So I invite you, if you want, just put your hands over your heart and rock yourself and just soak in these beautiful lyrics. It's called Ocean of Love.
As time passes, like a river, never to return, so do our lives flow on forever until we finally learn the source of everything's patiently waiting for her beloved and welcomes us home. Home to the ocean of love. Your eyes open to the goodness. Never more than now. And your mind reveals the closeness without ever telling you how. The course of your heart is awaiting direction. So let go and set sail for home. Home to the ocean of love. As deep as you might wish to sink, there is always much more than you think. So surrender to the God who made you. Hold each other. Hold to me. Life is here just for you. And I have made you to be free.
your heart floating? Just floating on that love? You know, in the spirit of thanksgiving and gratitude, which really is one of our core principles as a spiritual practice, we are so thankful for Allendale and all the gifts that you give us. To our extraordinary music director, Diane King-Van, and the music that comes from these musicians. Unbelievably incredible. Thank you so much for your gifts. We are truly, truly blessed here at our center. And it is time now for our conscious, committed giving. I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward. This is a time where we open our hearts and listen deeply to what has been spiritually fed to us today. And as our gifts we give back to that which nourishes us and supplies us and fills us with its nourishment. There are blessing cards that are behind each one of your chairs. The blessing cards are here if you give automatically through your credit cards, or if today isn't your day to give, we welcome you to take that. Give a blessing to the blessing card as you put it into the basket. And if you're online, follow the directions online. There are many ways that you can give to our center, and we are so blessed. Thank you. Would you all join me in reading our prosperity affirmation together? My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
I'd like to continue that beautiful sacred space that Karen and Rick just presented with Ocean of Love. And you can continue, keep your eyes closed if you want. This is a song called Hallelujahs, and it's all about God who makes the grass grow. You guys can go ahead and pass the baskets. A purple sky to close the day. I wade the surf where dolphins play. The taste of salt, the dance of waves, and my soul wells up with hallelujahs. A lightning flash, my pounding heart, oh thunder's boom, oh shooting star, give testimony that you are, and my soul wells up with hallelujahs. Oh, praise the power, mighty word. There is no language where you can't be heard. Your song goes out to all the earth. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. The pulse of life within my wrist, a fallen snow, a rising mist. There is no higher praise than this, and my soul wells up, oh my soul wells up, yes my soul wells up with hallelujahs. Oh, praise to God, these mighty works. There is no language where we can't be heard.
Thank you, Diane. We thank you for your conscious, committed giving. We bless these baskets knowing that this is an abundant and magnificent life that we know to be all connected, understanding our gifts go forth and return multiplied. Thank you. This is a time in our service where we like to just recognize anyone that's come here for the first time. Would our guests just either raise your hand or stand up? And if you've brought a guest today, would you raise your hand and stand up? We have a gift for you, both. Any new guests for the first? Okay, great. Oh, we're delighted that you're here today. Let's give them a nice hand. Thank you. Welcome. Inside your gift basket, your gift bag today, you will find a card. And if you will fill that out and bring it to our bookstore right after service, we have another gift for you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a time where we'd like to acknowledge all of those that have been in service this week. If you've been in service this week in any capacity, would you please stand for us? And as well, all our practitioners and ministers, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for all that you do, making our Sunday services possible. And would our practitioners continue standing? We have Cheryl Lineman today, practitioner Patrick Freeman, who has been holding the high watch for us all morning long, and Faith Mackey. Let's give them a nice hand and show them some love this morning. They'll be available to you on the 2 back tables and also in our quiet room this morning right after our service. And I wanted to read to you something that Ernest Holmes wrote about treatment, which we call affirmative prayer. Treatment is an art, an act, and a science. It is an act since there is a feeling in it. It is an art since there is a feeling in it. It is an act since it is moving through a thing in thought. And it is a science since the moment of thought acts as a law. Therefore, a practitioner is an artist, an actor, and a scientist. So go and see one this morning. And I think it's time. Yes, it's time for Clark Wilson. Where are you, Clark? Give us our invitations for this morning.
I just love that music. A Conscious Connection will not meet today, but will resume next week. This Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., you're invited to join Reverend Alice for a meditation and some discussion of metaphysics and or mysticism. Everyone is invited to Diane King Band's retirement party on Sunday, November 19th. And I think I speak for everyone here when I say we'll be very sad to see you go. Yeah. Especially the band members who will end up just wandering aimlessly about, wondering what happened.
That's what we do anyway.
You're right, Dave. Our Thanksgiving Eve service and dessert potluck will be Wednesday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. And may visions of chocolate tofu pie dance in your heads until then. Sunday, November 26th, our guest vocalist will be Kelly Corsino. After the service, Kelly will present a healing sound bath workshop. Now, there are only so many jokes you can do about that, and they've been done already. The annual holiday boutique and brunch is Sunday, December 3rd. Start crafting and preparing to sell your wares that Sunday. Sign up for a booth on the kiosk or talk to Reverend Karen Allen. Our Youth and Family Ministry Coordinator, Kay Allen, is seeking several volunteers who have a heart for children and a desire to be part of the youth ministry team. If that is you, please talk to Kay Allen. Now, while you're out on the range driving them dogies up to the railhead at Sedalia, it's comforting to know that when day is done and you make your way back to camp, that Chuck Wagon Billy Jim Bob has rustled up a big mess of Colonel Aloysius P. Clark's Country Cowboy Chili. So you mosey on over to the campfire with all your friends from the movie Blazing Saddles and dig into your hot steaming bowl of Colonel Aloysius P. Clark's Country Cowboy Chili. Why, it's just got everything in there. It's got onions and peppers and mystery meat, and it is chock full of those magic beans of questionable gastrointestinal consequence that you love so much. That's Colonel Aloysius P. Clark's Country Cowboy Chili. It's clean, it's vegan, and it's on the back table for you to enjoy today. We have 3 weekly small group activities which are open to anyone and everyone. Read about these and other activities here at CSLCV in this colorful flyer located in the lobby or on the very creative and informative pop-up video on our website at cslcv.org. Now let's invite our songbirds up to lead us in singing Happy Birthday to everyone born in the month of November.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Now, please join us. Stand and sing our closing song.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
And so we walk through this week knowing that we are sourced wherever we go, and so it is.